All right, this will be take 18 after we get a slate from Kyle.
Works for me.
Cool. All right, here we go. String Quartet number 5, movement 1, take 18.
Sorry, I just didn't get it. Sorry.
Sorry. Well, we're stopping before we go back again on the main theme of 10. Just as much separation. I know it's zipping along. Just as much separation as you can get.
It actually came about doing a tour about Groucho Marx. And Frank Ferrante, who played Groucho, is still playing Groucho, played him on Broadway, played him in London, was a big fan of Red Skelton's. He's a master of comedy and knows a lot of the comedians in LA and Vegas and so forth. Well, anyway, he wanted to stop and see the museum. And we actually went to the museum and toured through it before it was officially open. So he was in the boxes going through Skelton's stuff the way he did with Groucho's stuff. And at that time, I just got interested in Red Skelton. I didn't realize he was a composer, but they had some of his music there. So I picked up a couple of his music books. Didn't pick them up and take them away. I actually bought them at the gift store. So I got to know his music. Of course, his clown paintings are very famous. He was also a very eclectic guy. He did stand-up comedy, which was a little off color. Everybody thinks he's such a family comedian, but some of his stand-up shtick, not quite Robin Williams, but it's funny and it's different and, like I say, a little challenging. And then he had the television show, and he created these clown characters. Just an amazing man to follow.
That's 106.
Would it be the end of the world if just the section was slower?
Slow down that section. That's absolutely fine.
Should we just deal with that later then?
Yeah.
Cool.
You just want to start right on it?
Or just go 50.
150.
Or we could start on it and then.
At 152, we'll take a cut, we'll go back, we'll pick it up, a little break.
When is a good time to get back into the tempo, would you say?
For standard repertoire, we start by finding recordings which don't exist in this case. So there's a kind of freedom in that that's really nice. Some of the parts didn't have metronome markings on them, so I asked Paul what he would like, because it's a little hard to tell from the music itself how quick, and the tempo determines a lot of character in the music, and so I needed to know from him what he was interested in. So he gave me approximate metronome markings, and I went from there. And you can't put everything in the music. You can't write every little nuance and phrasing and everything. And so without a recording to listen to, it was up to us to invest what's on the page with what seemed like the phrasing that's intended by the composer. So we went a little bit back and forth about that, but it was really the practice process, the rehearsal process, really was trying to bring the black and white that's on the page that's two-dimensional, trying to make it three-dimensional and live like music.
Skelton is known for his comedy, so I really tried to lace comedy. And even the second movement, I know I talked to the quartet about this, because it starts off really tearful and slow. And I said, that's the life of a clown. You know, if you're backstage and we don't know what your tragedy is, but you always have to be smiling on the outside when you're crying on the inside. And that movement, hopefully, my plan for that movement was that you could feel this clown's anguish and sadness and darkness, and then work through it. You can imagine him putting on the makeup and getting out the red nose and putting on the big shoes, and all of a sudden the transformation starts to take place, and then he hits the stage with this Irish jig, and it's comedy for the middle of the piece. And then as soon as he hits off stage, it's like you should feel that moment when he breaks the arch and goes back to his sadness. And so the piece is very contrasting for that reason. born with, fortunately or unfortunately, a nervous system that does not. I guess I was perfect for this business because I don't get nervous and worked up about projects. They always will be what they should be. And it's been a good thing for me to work at a lot of different levels. I've done student shows, I've done church pageants, I've done some great European orchestra, which, Performers Recordings is reissuing a lot of those, which is marvelous to know that they're out there again. And all of those situations, they tend to unfold the way they're supposed to, and I've begun to really trust that. And the little bit of performing I still do, it's the same way. I remember being backstage with singers or actors or musicians who are literally vomiting. They're so nervous before the show, and my heart goes out to them because I just feel it's where I'm supposed to be, and there's a comfort level there that I enjoy for whatever reason. Was born to do it. Trinity, which is a historic church, it's a Victorian era church, and the wood in that church too is just beautiful for acoustics. Really high dome, Trinity United Methodist Church in Lafayette, Indiana. So check in with them and follow. Where the live performance will be September 10th, which is Sunday afternoon. That'll be the premiere of the pieces for everyone to come and join in the celebration of it.
That has an element of Red Skelton in it has a lot more mischief. I can definitely tell that there's a comedian in there. Although the movement that is more reflective of his life or a comedian's life, where there's the sadness that you see backstage as it transitions to the onstage persona. That's a little bit different, but the outer movements, the two outer movements of that piece, I can definitely see the comedic element there.